Hey, what's up, guitar gear nerds? This is Grady Hansen at Ghetto Rock Studios, and our first edition of Guitar Gear How To. We're going to show you sweet, unbiased views of lots of awesome gear. We're going to show you how to use your gear, how to love your gear, and how to live your gear. Here we go. All right, first on the agenda is going to be what I think may be the ultimate guitar rig. It's another guy doing the same thing on YouTube I know about, and he does some awesome reviews. I've communicated with him a little bit. It's got a really cool channel that's Tone Wars, so check that guy out. His videos will probably be a little bit more professional than mine for now, because I'm just getting started and learning how to do all this crap. But anyways, he also uses a helix and a synergy, which is a modular tube amp, if you haven't heard about it. Randall and Ignator used to do it back in the day. They have a bunch of different versions. This one's called the Sin 1. So this is just a single module unit that you can basically load two preamps made from the companies. As you see, this one was made by Diesel. It's a Diesel VH4. It doesn't really say what channels of the VH4 it is, but I'm guessing it's the good one, 3 and then possibly 4. Although on this particular unit, the gain structures are pretty similar. There's 2 channels on this module, and they both, I mean, if you set everything the same on them, they sound the same to me. You might think otherwise. I was pretty stoked that I could get a Diesel preamp for $400. And what's neat about the Sin 1 is it's totally passive. It's pretty much like having a distortion pedal, except it's loaded with a real Diesel tube preamp right now, made by Diesel. So what I've done, and you may have seen some videos like this, is I basically am just adding it to my Bogner tube amp here. It's a line 6 one. But I'm doing it in a little different way than everybody else is. So everybody else, there's some cables on the back of this deal, some inputs and outputs, that you can basically just kind of patch it in to your tube amp. Into your tube amp's effects loop. And then there's an effects loop on the back of this unit itself, so you're not losing your effects loop. You're just putting it on this deal, on the Sin 1. And it's basically, seeing how this module is a 2-channel module, it adds 2 channels to your amp. I was trying to pull this thing out and show you, but anyways, this module right here has just got these 2 little thumb screws. And you can unscrew those while it's turned on even, and hot swap more modules. And they've got all kinds of modules, like Engel makes one that I'm really excited to check out next. Soldano, Morgan, I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff. Friedman's making some, and they're made by the companies themselves. Really cool idea. Also, okay, like I said, I had this, what's called the Sin 1, this little single modular unit. But Synergy is actually making guitar amps, like combo amps and heads. Real tube heads, so it's like a power tube chassis, if you will. So now that I've showed you the setup, so I'm doing this a little bit different than the way other people are doing it. Everybody else is just running this little Sin 1 into their effects loop on their amps. But if you have a Helix or something like it that has its own effects loops built into it, the Helix has 4 of them. So what I'm doing is just running that SYN 1 into an effects loop that I can then turn on and off with snapshots within the helix. So basically it bypasses the SYN 1 altogether. The SYN 1 will do that on its own, but you have to hook up a foot switch if you want to do it hands-free. Another great thing about the helix, I actually do have a foot switch cable running out of the helix into the SYN 1 to change channels on it. And I can program those to separate snapshots. So, you know, when I go to a clean or whatever snapshot I may go to, I can choose to bypass the SYN 1 altogether or switch channels on the SYN 1. So anyways, now let's get to the part where I show you how it sounds.